It's like way in there.
You feel high?
The camera.
Oh, really?
It is.
You think?
Very much.
Don't matter. We live now.
I can fix it though.
Nah, you can't fix it. We got started.
Corey got us looking like we looking up to y'all today. Hello, how are
We
you
are
all?
looking up to y'all. Y'all our favorite people.
You know, we're gonna look up to y'all today. I don't know.
You ain't bring me nothing to drink?
So we looking up to y'all today. Didn't know y'all, was gonna be so far away
Hey.
today. Corey set up the stage or staging area and
This is what happens when you don't have your engineer and your helper and they in the streets and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But once again, welcome to Passing for Perfect. I'm Corey.
I'm Kynisha.
How y'all doing? How's it been? How's it going? Somebody say something in the chat. Let me know how y'all doing. Let me know we can hear y'all. Y'all out there.
I was stuffing my face. Excuse me.
Last minute. Hard headed.
Let me tell y'all something. I was taking my
that.
child to 1B vaccinated, her first vaccination.
You stuck her?
Yeah. Secondly, to look for school pants. A 13-year-old, a 5'8", 13-year-old is not easy to dress in the appropriate attire, and they got ankle biters and things, and it's just not working out on our side of the water right now. And the shoes, and I'm just tired.
I ain't seen the shoes, y'all. So I
ain't
haven't.
Getting one. They ain't getting her size.
Oh, I thought she was talking like.
Nothing.
Oh, baby.
Nothing but a Band-Aid.
But this her fault, y'all. This her fault. She feels like she has a vacation home for the summer. So we've seen her
About a month.
A month.
Total.
Lies.
Total.
2 weeks. If you add the days in.
I give it a month.
Yeah,
Total.
so she's never around, y'all.
I'm not. Excuse me.
You're gonna mess it up. You're gonna mess it up. Yeah, she about to mess it up.
I'm not.
Yes, she is. Y'all see how she just left me out here in these people streets by myself? But anyway, we're back. We've been gone a little while. Life happens. We're trying to do better, y'all. We're gonna try to do better. And I think we may need to move to Tuesdays or something. We may need to change the day. What y'all think? What's a good day for y'all? Mondays, Tuesdays, because Monday is her off day, y'all. That's usually why we did it on Mondays. But because it seems like we've been having something to do every Monday evening, we missed a few Mondays, and then life happens, and sometimes we be waiting on y'all with topics, and y'all have topics, so we just have to go. We just have to go solo dolo gun ho sometimes on these topics.
It's a little bit better.
But
for now.
Once again, if y'all want to have a specific topic or question, y'all can send those questions or topics to passingforperfect@gmail.com, or y'all can message us, text us, however it is, whatever it is y'all want to do. Anyway, this week, what we're going to be discussing this week, we have two topics that kind of roll. I won't say they roll into each other, but there are two topics. One was a topic that was sent in from one of the listeners, and this topic was about marriage roles, like the roles in marriage. And so we want to discuss that. Do y'all believe in specific roles in marriage? Or is it just a matter of whoever is good at what, that's what you do? But we about to lose Kynisha. That she's about to get fired from a job she don't get paid for. Leave my camera alone. Sit down. She OCD, y'all, at the wrong times about the wrong things. Nothing changed. All that, and it still looked the same.
It does not.
Anyway, to me it does.
Sorry.
Um, and the second topic we're going to discuss today is insecurities. We're going to talk about insecurities in relationships, personal insecurities, um, and how does not talking about insecurities, how does not bringing up the subject of your insecurities and bringing in old insecurities from a previous relationship or just from life in general affects your relationship?
Yeah, this is one of those things where we need to believe in counseling again.
Therapy works.
Therapy works for everything. I saw a TikTok the other day.
She see a lot of TikToks, y'all.
But the lady said, there was this thing going around that was saying name something that people wouldn't believe about you, and she was like that I won't flip and set this off. She was like, because I talk really soft and sweet and everything, but I carry Jesus in my heart, but so I also carry a lot of trauma and unreleased childhood trauma and things like that. She was like, so, there's balance. But I think that some of us have a lot of childhood,
Trauma,
struggles that we didn't work out. Our parents didn't realize they were screwing us up. And we took some of that over into our relationships. I think that a lot of us got bit by the first love bug, um, because a lot of people measured relationships up to the first love, which I don't understand how we get stuck in that, but we do.
But and speaking of that, why we on the first love and the trauma from the first love, I also see y'all that got me hooked on TikTok too. Um, you can learn a lot on TikTok, right? Like for real. It's therapy. It's entertainment, it's therapy,
Education.
it's education.
It's not
It is.
point.
Anyway, point being, there was a TikTok I saw where a guy says everybody falls in love 3 times. You have at least 3 loves. Your first love is that first love, that puppy love. It's not really love. It's like more of infatuation. It's just your first time having real feelings for somebody. That's kind of your first love.
Okay.
Your second love is going to be more of a real love. It's going to be more you're older. You know a little bit. You understand love. That first love is a puppy love. You don't really understand love, so you don't really know if you're in love. You know you like that person a whole bunch.
Okay.
The second one is a more deeper love where you have a little bit more understanding of what love is. And that's usually the one that you get hurt in. That's usually the one that teaches you life's lessons, teaches you things you don't want in a relationship, things you want in a relationship, those type of things. Then the third love is usually that real love, the love that you um that lifelong love, that marriage, that person who you fall in love with and you end up marrying sometimes. Those are the 3 levels of love that you get in, you fall into as a person. And sometimes that second love, and I could relate to it. I related to what he was saying. I got where he was going with it. I didn't totally agree on a number of loves,
I was
but
about to say because I'm in trouble.
whatever.
Okay, go.
No, you've made all these loves. I can count them out for you if you like. Okay, thank you. So a lot of times what happens is we pick up a lot of insecurities from that second love, from that hurt, from the one that we got hurt by, the one that we just knew this was the one, and it didn't end up being the one. And we take a lot of those insecurities into relationship after relationship after relationship. And this is where I believe in people finding out about themselves and learning about themselves and fixing themselves before they want to be with somebody else.
Yes, that is a problem in today's society. There are people who don't know how to be by
They don't
themselves.
even like themselves. There's people
They
who
don't like
have
their
to
own
be,
company.
there are people who can't be by themselves. They have to be in a relationship to feel validated.
Right.
And that's because they haven't found themselves. They haven't loved themselves.
I just feel like, I was about to say something that was kind of one sided, and it shouldn't be, because I think that falls on both male and female. People who can't be by themselves. I think men fall into that zone.
Of serial dating.
No, not serial dating, but it looks like men fall into that zone more than women, because we see men outwardly. Women don't normally show you all their stages of dating outwardly. Whereas men, they'll show up to the family gathering with 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 different people, before they actually get somebody that's a permanent fixture, and the families will be like, all right, let's see how long this person gonna be. Well, women won't, necessarily do that. But it looks like men can't be by themselves more than women, but I would say it's probably an equal amount.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where all that is concerned, is just that y'all have a really hard time of just, keeping your business to yourself.
It's the difference is with men, like men, like we don't think like women do. Like we don't think where it's like, hey, I can't take 5 men to church with me, 5 different guys to church with me.
Right.
Well, a man will be like, hey,
I'm going to church
I'm
Sunday. You
going to
want to
church
go?
Sunday. You want to go? It's we don't see we don't see dating on the level that women see it, so to speak.
Right.
And that's because it's a societal thing. It's like it's not a big thing for men to have multiple girlfriends or date multiple women because it's seen like, hey, that's what you're supposed to do, kind of as a man. That's a society. That's how society looks at it. Like that's that's what men do. You date a lot of women. Women, on the other hand, that's where we come with these stereotypes of like a woman who brings 40 men to
Double standards is what we call
you're
those.
gonna hey, it's a double standard. I didn't say it wasn't. Like it goes both ways. There are double standards where women get away with stuff that men can't.
That's not the topic today.
Oh, okay. Because we'll switch gears quick.
That's not.
But when it comes to the insecurities, a lot of this, most insecurities are childhood trauma. Some of it is relationship trauma, which a lot of times is early on in relationships. It's hurt people being hurt and don't know how to heal
Right.
from that hurt
Right.
and
That's a big one.
not take that with them into the next relationship. And some people don't know how to release after a relationship. Like when you break up with somebody, break up with them. Like break up, move on, give yourself that downtime
Yeah.
to get over them,
People
to
don't
move
understand
on.
that the end of a relationship is a grieving period.
Yeah,
Like just like you would grieve over a loved one, to get that loved one, get to a settled point with the loss of that loved one. Like you should take that same kind of time and attention to get over a relationship. A real relationship.
right.
If you're in a serious relationship, you have got to take the grief. There's a grieving period, and you don't need to figure out what went wrong. You don't need to call that person and ask them how they're doing. You don't need to, keep up with their whereabouts and make sure they're okay and all these different things. Like that's not necessary. When you are done with the relationship, you have to grieve. You have to go through all the different steps of grieving. So people, I think, do not either know that the end of a relationship is a grieving process, or they just think that they can do it along the way. And by the time they get serious about somebody else, that it'll be all right.
I can grieve this relationship while being in or pursuing the next relationship.
Yeah, that ain't right.
When that doesn't work. That's not how it's processed.
At all.
That's not how you built. It's not how you're supposed to process. No. And I think that a lot of this also comes from going back into traumas. Like, a lot of relationships are bad, and you build insecurities because you don't see a structured relationship, or you don't see what a relationship is supposed to look like. A healthy relationship, which is a childhood trauma. You don't see a healthy relationship, so you don't know how to interact in a healthy relationship. Or you're dating someone who their view of a relationship is one way and yours is another, and y'all never had that discussion. Y'all just start dating.
Or go
straight into a relationship. Let me get that. Into a commitment. We just had this conversation last week that dating and being in a relationship are two different things.
Right.
And if you don't know what that means, dating is dating, taking someone out, going, and it doesn't just have to be one person. You could be dating multiple people.
Right.
And you're trying to get to know multiple people at the same time to see who fits what you're looking for. And then once you've dated multiple people and you say, hey, she has the characteristics that I like, this woman right here. So I want to take this to another level. Okay, I'm just dating you. I'm not dating you, Sue, Mary. I'm committing to date just you.
Yeah.
See, and even a commitment to date isn't saying we're in a relationship. That's a commitment that I'm dating you. I'm only interested in you right now as far as dating. So I'm just going out with you. I'm not going out with anybody else. Then once you get to that level and you've understood, okay, yeah, I really like this person. Him, she, or him, her, however. Now we're making a commitment to be exclusive, to be in a relationship. We're in a relationship where this relationship is building towards marriage. If that's what you do, a long-term commitment to each other. Like, people skip
the courtship.
People go from dating to marriage. Like, dating to marriage. Like, there is a process in between. Like, there's you meet each other, you start dating,
getting to know each other.
You get to know each other, then you get into a relationship, and from getting in the relationship, you start courting that woman or man towards marriage. Like, there's levels to this, and people just be skipping dating to marriage.
Yeah.
Like, or I met you today, we're in a relationship tomorrow. And what happens is you end up in serial relationships. You end up in situationships. You end up just in relationship after relationship. And guess what you're building? You're building trauma, insecurity. You're building an insecurity in yourself. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, why are my relationships working out?
Well, you haven't had one.
Yet you haven't had a real relationship. Like, you've just been being with people with no real goal, no real conversation. And now you're questioning yourself, and then you don't take the time to sit back, self-love, figure yourself out, figure what you want, and you're already in the next relationship. And it's a lot of times it's peer pressure, because you see people around you in relationships. You see people around you get married, and the next thing you want, like, well, why isn't this happening for me? And there's so many different insecurities. Some of the most beautiful women in the world are some of the most insecure people I have ever met in my life. Beauty is not security, guys. Gals. I mean, like,
guys and gals.
Guys and gals.
Girls. Let me jump in here and say this. I think that per the relationship standard, people think of a certain age now, so I should be dating. I should be in a relationship. I should have a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. And that's not a thing. I think that people should not actually commit to a person until they know that that is something that they want long term. If you're not ready for a long term committed relationship,
Keep dating.
leading into marriage or whatever we have, leave these people alone. Leave these people, sons and daughters, alone.
Some people ain't gonna like that.
I'm sorry, but you need to leave these people, sons and daughters, alone. If you are not headed towards something permanent, and that person, and you're not looking for that person. See, I don't understand the people who are in relationships and then they hear, well, I'm not ready, when they're looking for marriage, and the other person, y'all been together 3-4 years, and the other person says, well, either I'm not sure I want to be married or I'm not ready for marriage. Why are we still in this why are we in this type of a relationship? If we've been together 3 and 4 years, and one person is saying, I'm not sure if I really want to be married, and the other person is saying, but I want to be married. Like, you two should have never been in a relationship, a committed relationship, period. Ever. It should have never started.
You haven't had that conversation. Like, once you get into a committed relationship, that commitment should be going towards something. And you should have that conversation
right
before you become a committed relationship.
Like, I mean,
like even before, like that's in between dating and relationship. Right. Like the courtship portion comes after the relationship. After dating. So that should be like a conversation you have before you make that commitment.
I mean, understand, you just have to. There are certain things that society says we should not discuss early in the dating.
Lies.
But I don't subscribe to general society because they lie like a rug. Like, we should first
of all on the table.
You need to discuss, like, especially if there are children involved and things of this nature. Like, there should not be anybody getting into what they call a committed relationship with somebody because they feeling this person and all these different things, but they don't have a goal in mind. And the two of you should have the same goal. Like, there's no reason for you, ma'am, or you, sir, to get into a committed situation saying that I am ready to be with this one person, I'm ready to settle it down, I'm ready to create a life, and the other person still floating and don't quite know, like, yeah, we could probably do this, but they don't really know. Or if you really want to be married and the other person is not necessarily saying, well, I got a 5-year plan. Like, yeah, let's not even introduce yourself to that trauma. That is trauma that we can save ourselves, because you can just be okay being by yourself. Like, it's okay. Even if you just still like that person and you like their company, it's cool to go out on a date with this person.
Go to date, hang out, whatever. But we ain't got to be
We don't committed. Have to be in no committed relationship. And we don't have to be in a committed relationship 3 and 4. Let me tell you something. 3 and 4 years of a relationship.
Committed
relationship. And marriage is not a thing. That is not a relationship. That's something y'all need to kill it.
Y'all just comfortable. Y'all both got comfortable. Y'all like the idea of each other. And a lot of times what happened, both of y'all have come out of a trauma relationship, that what's going on in this relationship feels comfortable and it's safe. There's no risk. So y'all just,
or maybe you either of you don't know anything else float. Because this is the person that you've been with for so long, and it just seems like what you're supposed to do because you've been there for so long. But the thing is that is a lie. You need to let that go.
People don't have uncomfortable relationship conversations, and that's part of the problem. And part of that is because the insecurity of being told no, or the insecurity of being alone and not knowing how to be by yourself. Not understanding that it's okay. It's okay to be alone. It's okay to learn you. Like, a relationship shouldn't define you as a person. And if you as a person is defined by relationship, that's an insecurity. And what's going to happen is you're going to take that insecurity into relationships, and you're going to put everything on the person you're dating to make you happy, to fulfill your happiness when you're responsible for your own happiness.
Yeah,
like my wife isn't responsible for my happiness.
No.
Like, and I'm not responsible for hers.
No.
But
I can make him happy.
And I can make her happy. But the issue is the insecurity of not being able to be alone. Because when we both met each other, neither one of us had been in relationships. Well, I can't tell you the last time I had been in a relationship, so that don't even count.
He was in a situationship.
But neither one of us had been in a real committed relationship in a while. So we both had come to the point where we were comfortable being alone. Even though she calls me arrogant and you know, people may not believe it, I have a lot of insecurities. And those are relationship traumas. Let me not say relationship traumas per se. I've only had maybe, we're not going to even call it a number. Relationships. I've only had so many relationships. It's not a committed relationship.
What's your point, sir?
My point is that those things that went on in those relationships or the dating I was doing was always a filling out process for me. Like, okay, I like this. Let me put this over here. I like that. Let me put this over here. I can't stand that. Let's throw that out. That was the process of dating, to where I knew that when I was wanting to be in a relationship, committed relationship, I knew everything I wanted for that relationship. And that's part of the problem. People don't take the time to figure that out. Like, that's what you're supposed to be doing when you're dating. Like, yes, we get committed to people and we get into deep relationships, and it happens sometimes. Even when you're not even looking for a relationship or love, it happens. And that's that's the best kind of love, I guess you'd say, because it's organic. You're not forcing it. Yeah. You're not trying to make somebody be with you. It just happens. Right. And so, insecurities. Let's get back on the insecurity, because we kind of got into relationship roles. Not relationship roles, but why people have so many relationship troubles. Whose responsibility is in a relationship? Say I know you have an insecurity.
Right.
Is it the onus more on me to tiptoe around or try to appease your insecurity? Or is it on you to find healing for your insecurity?
It is a shared experience. I would give it about 80-20. And I would say 20% for you to nurture the insecurity and 80% for me to heal the insecurity. Hopefully nobody goes into a relationship with insecurities, but some insecurities can hang on for a long time. So though I would say the time to get into a relationship knowing you have an insecurity is once you know you have an insecurity. If you aren't truly honest with yourself and you haven't realized, oh, I have problems and I ain't 100%. I am not perfect. I have issues, and this is a trigger for me, and that is a trigger for me. This is an issue for me. That is an issue for me. If you hadn't become that person yet, you're not ready to be in anybody's committed relationship. Because not only are you not beginning to heal those problems, but you aren't even acknowledging that you have those problems. So once you have acknowledged that you have certain issues and then actually began to work on those issues and then get to a point where you like, oh yeah, I have these issues, but I know when they begin to arise, so I know how to catch myself. That at that point, then I would say, okay, now it's probably okay for you to get into a relationship with someone and bring someone else into your life, because at that point, You are
honest with yourself.
And you're self-governing. Like if you can't be self-governing, because it's not his or her responsibility to cater to your insecurity. Don't nobody want to hear about your last relationship and what they did, and so I need to see your phone and all this other foolery. That is your own problem. You need to figure that out. And you need to figure that out before you put that over on somebody else's son or daughter. That is not their problem. That is your problem. You need to get to a place where that person did what they did, it bothered you so, and you need to heal from that before you move on into another relationship and take that over into somebody else's space. Once you get to a point where you like, somebody getting up and walking away to answer their phone is a thing for me. So I need to not let that bother me that much, because I don't know what they're doing when they walk away with the phone. Maybe they don't like having conversations in front of people. Maybe they're that type of person, or maybe they just feel it more respectful not to have a conversation at the dinner table. Maybe I need to find out and ask a question like, why do you walk away from the table when we're sitting here eating, when your phone rings? Why do you always walk away? And give that person a chance to give their truth on the matter so that you can then understand that person. Most of us, though, however, if we're sitting down, and this is just a general, analogy, if we're sitting down and you get up and walk away, your phone ring, and I look over, and you get up and walk away with the phone, most of us who have that trauma of someone who used to sneak or whatever the case may be, right then, we're triggered and mad. Right then at that moment, we are triggered and mad because that person decided
for no reason. You
to
don't
get
even
up.
have.
You have no idea. Then wait, why you gotta answer your phone off by yourself? Why you got to do that? Like, that should not happen. That should not be a thing. That should not ever happen in a relationship, especially a new relationship or somebody who hasn't done you that thing.
And that you're the once again, that's back bringing old stuff into a new relationship.
Yeah, that's trauma. We haven't dealt with it.
You haven't dealt with that trauma before you jumped into another relationship. That's your insecurity. That's not me doing anything wrong.
Right.
That's your insecurity. Now, in relationships.
Now, could they be doing something wrong? Very well. Could. Point is that you don't know that yet.
So you can't just jump to that conclusion. So you can't just
automatically say, well, the last person, or every time somebody has, that it was this. Like, you need to recognize your insecurity. And you need to begin to heal the insecurity and self-govern yourself. Like, do not allow these insecurities to spill over to somebody else, because what we then cause is trauma to the other person.
Now this person is uncomfortable. Now they're walking on eggshells around you unnecessarily.
Or if they're me, God forbid, it's like, oh, so this is what we're doing. You accusing me of? Oh, okay then. Okay. So okay. You ain't ask me no questions. You ain't ask me. You ain't trying to figure out. You came at me sideways out the gate. So we sideways. That's the way we moving. We moving. Okay. All right. So let's ball game. See, you don't want to ever trigger another person, because everybody has a trigger of some sort or another. We don't know. So you bring your insecurity over here.
And your insecurity
then triggers that person's character, because not everybody is going to roll with your insecurity and be like, oh, I'm sorry, that's a sore spot for you. We're together now, and I hope not to ever offend you in that type of way. I promise I'm going to work on not, everybody is not going to be that person.
And if you are that person, you shouldn't be that person. That's what I'm going to say. You shouldn't be that person. You shouldn't have to say, "Oh, don't. I'm just not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that when I take a shower, I leave the door open and leave my phone in the front with you."
Should do that.
Like I'm not going to. Some of this stuff is justified because some people have been through horrible relationships with horrible people, but that also comes back to you healing before getting in another relationship. Those same insecurities, you have people who feed on your insecurity, and they use your insecurity to keep you in a relationship.
That's true.
That you can't get nobody better than me. You can't, this is I'm the best you gonna ever get. I don't know about it like a woman who feels unpretty. Like men use that to their advantage. Women use things to their advantage. They take advantage of men insecurity. They take advantage of ego. I have a prime example of someone who he wasn't he wasn't great in bed. That was his issue. Women use that against him because he made a lot of money. So they used they fed on that insecurity to get financial gain from him. Because he tried to make up for that insecurity with gifts, with trips, doing lavish things. Instead of just working on the insecurity. Like you can't buy your way out of certain things.
Sir, whomever you are, sir. I need you to get you some books, some videos, a therapist.
Get somebody who's
gonna appreciate you and leave these people's daughters alone. Keep your money to yourself, your gifts, give them to your mama, your sisters, whoever. If you just feel like you in a giving mood. They got charities, they got homeless people. If you just feel like you in a giving mood, give yourself a break. And
stop being in relationship after relationship after relationship.
Give yourself a day at the spa. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself some time with a porno to study some stuff. I don't know, but whatever.
That insecure.
Let it go.
You say it's not an insecurity. Hello.
Huh?
Somebody said that's not an insecurity.
What's not?
That's a lack of skill. Talking about
But that's an insecurity because he knows his skill level
is not up there, so he's insecure about it.
Because maybe somebody compared him to somebody else, and that sprung up and was like, dang,
And everybody's not built the same.
Yeah, that's a knock at the
That's a different thing. That's an ego knock that turns into an insecurity. The male ego is a fragile thing, as big as it is. It's an extremely fragile thing. So, and women know this.
Not all.
Lies.
Not all women.
I think this is a trait. This is something embedded in y'all.
Not all women know this. Because too many women allow themselves to be mistreated by men to say all women know this. Because if all women knew that the fragility of the male ego, there would not be a feeble-minded woman among us.
But some of those women are insecure for other reasons.
Again, if all women knew that the fragility of the male ego, there would not be a feeble-minded woman among us. And there are some feeble-minded women among us. And it hurts me to see. One, because I'm bigoted. It just is what it is. Two, because I come from a landmine of strong women. Like, you can't go left or right in my family and not find a woman that's like,
but that's also another thing with
childhood trauma.
So many of the problems we have as adults are results of childhood trauma.
Stuff we learned and shouldn't have learned as children.
The majority of issues that we have are based on our upbringing. You don't get 20, 21, 25 years old and develop new traumas. For the most part. Most of those traumas have been developed through your adolescence, through the preteen, teen years.
That first love is in there somewhere.
That first love, that second love, that heartbreak. Yeah.
Some people don't know.
Lack of father figures, lack of mothers. Like it's, but it all boils down to family, a family structure that creates a lot of insecurities, because that's the first thing you learn about a relationship is what you see in your home.
Yeah, I just think that, like some people say, I'm gonna put you on blast for a minute. My husband used to say, because I used to pull on him for affection, and he would say to me that he never saw his parents hug uh, growing up. So affection is not something that just comes naturally for him because it was not something he witnessed. The affection between the man and a woman wasn't something that was outward in his home, even though he grew up in the house with both of his parents.
And her family, like everybody hugged everybody. Everybody hugs. Like they don't even like each other and they still hug. Hey, how you doing? Like, I'm just saying.
It's love.
Whatever.
I love you.
You gotta like you to love you.
The thing is that I didn't grow up in a 2-parent household. So when he would say that to me, I would be like, BS. I call BS because I didn't have it either, but I got sense enough to know that I need to love on you, you know? So I had to.
But that's the difference. You may not have had it in your house, in a 2-parent household, but everywhere else you went amongst your family, y'all hugging and kissing cousins. So you understood the affection. You just didn't. It just wasn't. I feel like relationship.
Taking a jab at Brian.
You think I was taking a jab?
Brian, okay. If you watching, he took a jab. Anyway, I think at that moment I had to take a step back. Now I took a couple of steps back, and one of the let me tell you, all my steps back weren't good steps, you know, because I'm bigoted.
Very.
I'm a Leo, a real one, a Leo woman, and Leo men and Leo women are not the same.
We're two very bad fire signs over different. Here. I'm the humble one. Okay, go ahead. Carry on.
Father God.
Carry on. Continue.
Oh, a tear.
You got a tear?
Whew. So, what I'm saying is that crap. I was already married by the time I made 25. So, for me, those formative years weren't done by the time I got married. So, there were some things that I had to self-correct while married. So, I took steps back and I went through like all the phases of healing for myself, from one, feeling rejection
in the middle of the relationship,
in the midst of our marriage.
She's healing.
Healing the trauma he created on me, because the affection wasn't a thing. So when you're someone who one of your love languages is touch, or the physical touch, or whatever, you have to get to know the other person's love language. If y'all aren't familiar with love languages, Google 5 love languages, figure out what your love languages are. Take the test, take the quiz, and that will help you moving on in a relationship you're already in, or getting into another relationship. You'll actually know, oh, dang, that's why that makes me so upset, because this is a real thing for me. So everybody has 3 love languages. One is more serious than the other 2, but all of us have all have at least 3 love languages that are the top heavy. The other 2 are kind of like,
yeah, I can have it.
You can have it or not. But we have 3 love languages that we operate in our day-to-day lives with. One is more serious than the other 2. So look them up. It'll help you. I promise you, it'll help you understand. But he had the thing of, well, I don't, that's not something that I grew up with. But your spouse is sitting here saying, I need this. And it was like, so we had to get to a common ground where it was like, you don't need it, but I do. So we always say this thing. It's not, you can't tell me how you make me feel.
Right.
You have to listen to me when I tell you how you make me feel. You're not right when you say, I don't make you feel like that. You're not right. You have to listen to the other person. You have to be willing to listen to what the other person is saying and how they feel about what you said or did, and then correct the action.
It from there.
So at the same time, when you feel one way or the other about something somebody is doing, you got to figure out, why does that make you feel that way? Like, what about that thing is making you feel that way? And then correct those things and try not to do what I did. Do not, what this is a do as I say moment, not as I do or did, because, I was like,
You were terrible.
I wasn't terrible.
You were really mean.
I did get mean though.
You were mean.
I got mean because
harsh.
I withdrew things because it was like, oh, so you don't know how to hug? Oh, okay then. And so when he come trying to hug, get on away from me. You don't know nothing about no hugs. Get back. You know,
Bully.
don't come. He come want to lay up under me and want me to. He used to rub his little bald head and things like that. I'm not about to touch your head. Get away from me.
My head is not little.
It isn't big bald head since he want to be big headed. But I did those things as a let me teach you type of a thing, that your taste of your own medicine. That is not the way with this.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It's not healthy.
It doesn't work, because then all it was doing was make him withdraw.
Treat me like me
even
only makes me not like you even more.
You don't like yourself. So basically,
I love me.
No, he didn't love me when I was being him though.
Yeah, because you're not me.
So it doesn't work, y'all. You got to figure your way through some things and figure out what pulls on you and why. What is with the thing? I'm confused.
Huh? I got a song in my head. You know how they say you have a song in your head? A song in my head.
So, hopefully that helped somebody along the way just then. So we got the childhood trauma thing. We got the trigger thing. You know, we talked about the triggers and how we can trigger other people because we bringing in our foolishness from past relationships that we haven't quite worked through yet.
She used to trigger me all the time.
And also this, I think, is a big deal because I know that I withheld a lot of things that bothered me until it was like, we have to be honest with the other person when something is bothering you, not way off later on. You have to be able, without feeling like they're gonna leave, or you know, they're gonna have a problem, or they're gonna feel like you nagging, or whatever the case may be. If you are trying to be in a serious, this is for the people who are going into a serious committed relationship, not for you daters. If you are trying to have something real, then you have to be willing to state your claim. Like, this bothers me.
Exactly. And my problem used to be like, I could be 38 hot about something in the morning. And by the time the afternoon gets here, I'm over it. Outwardly, I'm over it. Like the feeling has passed for me. So that evening, I don't even want to talk about it no more because in my mind, I'm over it. But I had to learn that I wasn't really over it. I just had threw it away because it wasn't in my face in the moment. And then 2-3 weeks later, something that happened that triggers that emotion again, and boom.
Now we back to talking about something.
Now we get back to talking about something that happened 3 months ago. But we you have to learn yourself. So what I learned to do is I take notes. I'd write it down. So I have it for later and it'll stick there. Or we started using Polo. And even though she couldn't text messages, I'd Polo her and every bit of frustration I had going on was in the Polo. She might not see it for 3-4 hours, but I got it out. Uninterrupted. No trying to give me feedback or how I should feel or what this was. But I know, baby, we're not talking about what we on my feelings right now. So you need to be over there, look cute, be quiet, and let me do me. And that's part of the problem in communication is people shut up. It's people trying to talk, trying to listen to response. What happened?
That's things.
What?
That sit over there, be quiet, but just listen. That's things.
Especially for you Leos. Y'all.
Anybody who feels they haven't done anything, it stings.
But because you don't feel you haven't done anything. That's your opinion.
And that's why I said a little bit ago.
Yeah,
you have to listen to the person tell you how they feel. You can't tell me
how you made me feel.
Yeah. It ain't about what you think you made me feel. It's about what I think you made me feel. So it stings though. To sit there and listen and take it in. It stings like a mug. Like it's a burn. And to not interrupt when they say something that you like, it stings. But that's called relationship maturity.
And I thought I was gonna have to get some duct tape and tape her mouth or gag her to be able to get my point across in some situation because she was ready. Y'all know she quick with it and she quick with a response. Shut up, woman. Sit there, be quiet. Put the pillow over your mouth. I don't care what you have to do, but don't you say nothing until I say I'm finished.
And then this is what happened. I'm gonna make y'all laugh, but this has nothing to do with the story. It does, but it don't. He would say that this was me trying to do the right thing, and we would lay down and be in the bed, and he'd be pouring out his heart about what was wrong. And before it was all said and done, I'd be over there snoring. I fell asleep trying not to talk.
Trying not to talk. See what I'm talking about? I can't. Y'all pray for me.
Okay, but that was in the beginning. I'm good now. But I was trying not to talk. He told me, please let me be quiet.
So with her, we got to be sitting up. We had got to the point where we'll be sitting outside in the car to keep her focused. But anyway, because when she's quiet and still, she's going to sleep.
That is amazing. We have made it through some things. I'm telling you.
Cause you crazy.
Me. Yeah. Huh. We're not gonna start. Anyway, so you all have to understand that there's a thing like there's a deal where you listen to respond, and that is a horrible thing. When someone is trying to explain to you how they're feeling about something that you were doing or that you did and how it made them feel, you shouldn't be listening to respond. You should be listening to hear the person and their feelings, especially if you care about their person. Like if you are in a committed relationship, or that's the goal of the relationship, you all have the goal of being together. Well, you got a long time to be with somebody that you don't understand. Is that really what you're trying to do? Like you want to be with somebody that you don't understand what makes them tick and what makes them blow up? So you just want to go through life blowing somebody up every other day? Like that's not okay.
And I know why. Like you need to not listen. Even care why. That's more of the thing. That's a sure sign of showing me you don't really care about my feelings. Yeah. Like the best apology is change behavior. I don't want to. You don't even have to tell me I'm sorry. You don't even have to say I apologize.
You got to tell me you sorry.
Me, I don't even really need the apology. I need to see the difference.
I need the apology, and I need
even with words of affirmation being my strongest love language. I don't need to hear you say, yes, I'll take that back. Yes, her, I need to hear her say, I apologize. Some of y'all don't have to apologize to me. Y'all just need to change your behavior and do better. Her, she has to say, I apologize because she doesn't do it. You don't. You don't.
That's a lie.
Grin. Come on, let's get honest.
To these people about this stuff. Anyway,
this is all part of relationships. We're gonna do the marriage roles.
That's good. About traumas.
Traumas, and this part of trauma. That's a part of trauma. Trauma, insecurities. This is all together. See, we're gonna talk about marriage roles next week, y'all. We just gonna stick to this one topic because
these people tired. They don't want to keep listening to this.
This is all a part of the. Yeah, they listening. They ain't going nowhere.
Part two. We're gonna have part two.
Next week we're gonna talk about marriage roles. That's gonna be
part two. Okay.
Yeah. We're going to finish this
I do apologize.
You do apologize. You say, I'm sorry, I apologize, but this is what I was when I did what I did.
Well, because I do personally feel like he don't like it, but
Hate it.
I personally feel like it matters what someone's intentions are. It matters to me what your intentions are. See, if he come to me and just say I'm sorry, just a flat I'm sorry, oh, I am pissed. It is like you could have just kept that. Like you didn't need to apologize to me because you didn't mean it. Because to me, I need to hear your intentions behind the action. So when I say I'm sorry, but this is what was happening, I'm not saying that to negate the I'm sorry. I'm saying that so to try to give you an understanding of where my mind was at the time and that it wasn't intentional to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a person who think intentions mean more than the I'm sorry sometimes. Like if I knew that your intentions were better and it just came across wrong at the time and it hurt my feelings, then I thank you for the I'm sorry. And it's good to know that you weren't intentionally trying to do that. Or, you didn't intentionally do that knowing that it may be a sensitive area for me. But just I'm sorry with nothing behind it. Oh, you can keep that.
But see me, I just need to I'm sorry and see you do differently. And that's the difference between us.
Yeah.
And I had to learn to give the detail of I'm sorry. And I'm trying to teach her to like, look, I don't care if you meant it or not. Say you're sorry and do something different. Like I don't need all that extra. I don't need that fluff because for me, I feel like you're playing with me at that point. You're playing on my top. Like I'm saying I'm sorry, but I really feel like this is what I was trying to do, but it came over this way. Nah, I don't need to hear that. I don't need to hear that part. Just give me my sorry, hug me, kiss me, and let's keep it moving and change your ways. So
Insecurities and traumas. I don't know what trauma you had that brought you to that point, but I care about people's intentions. And I'm one of those people that I feel like when you know a person,
too many fake I'm sorry's.
yeah,
That's what got me to that point.
when you know a person and they do something, if it's not a part of their regular character, then you shouldn't hold them to something that you got in your head like that's who they are. Like when you know a person and they do something, judge that person on their character. And so many of us get into relationships with these insecurities that we almost kill the person's character. Like we don't care that the person's character is this or that or the other. We just still have stuck in our mind that this action means this and that emotion means that. And then this sign equals this.
And
We just have that
true.
programmed in our system and that person character means nothing.
Because I know ladies who the minute they see something that resembles
mm-hmm.
something that happened before with someone else, that relationship is immediately over in their mind. Like you don't even let the process play out because you don't know where that person is going from where they are. And that's because you have that insecurity, that trauma. This person did that and that hurt me. Just because something looks the same, because something looks similar doesn't make it the same.
And let me help you out with this one. This is about to be another burn to somebody. Something may look similar because you keep on choosing the same type of person.
Hello.
You need to sit down and take inventory on you. And you don't have to figure out why you keep getting into these crazy relationships. You keep choosing the crazy people.
That's just like I saw another TikTok that the man said, women are always talking about men ain't ish. Men ain't ish. But I always want to call a baby boy a young king or young prince. No, give him that same energy. He a man too, he a male. He ain't ish too. That little nigga on his way. And that's what it's like. That's basically what it is. Is that you are, what is it that you're doing that all these men wasn't bad? Like every man you come in contact in your life was bad, but You had a baby for one of them bad men. Now he a little king, a little prince. He got his dad in him. He got his dad in him. It
He
ain't just you.
does. And you gonna fool around there and do one of two things for the women with the young prince, young king, with the daddy that ain't crap. I'm talking to you. So you got a daddy that ain't crap, but you got a young king from crap. So you got a prince crap,
Like,
king crap. I mean, because part of the
baby
baby
crap
is from that man.
from that ain't crap.
And you're going to see some of those characteristics of Mr. Crap, and it is going to show up in your baby. So how are you then going to treat little Prince Crap? I mean,
Like,
what you going to do? Like, you have to be able to nurture these things out, you know? And so either you're going to have a young man that's going to grow up and go out into society that has a problem with women because mom mistreated me because she saw dad in me, or you're going to wussify this child so bad that he is going to be such a mama's boy to not be dad. You are going to mother hen this kid to pieces that he is going to be so I'm not going to say he's going to have such feminine energy because you're going to be trying to delete the crap out of baby crap.
The masculine,
and you can't do that. Like, we said once before, off the rails, but we said once before that when you split up with that man, you were mad at the man, not the father.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to separate the man from the father, and then be able to let that son, like, nurture daddy's character in your son, but nurture him in a way that it's okay for him to be that kid, but then direct that energy in a positive way. And if you can't do it, let his daddy do it. You know what I'm saying? Or your daddy do it, or your uncle, or somebody.
But and this Off the Rails segment has been brought to you by CosmoLifeBR.com.
I mean, it's
been brought to you by Petty Flops.
We have to understand that we cause some problems. Like we said, it's childhood traumas. That's one of those childhood traumas. We have a lot of men in these streets that hate women, but they want a woman. Like, they want to be in a relationship with women, but they hate women.
Yeah. Can we say an insecurity is a trauma?
It was brought on by a trauma.
Brought on by a trauma. So we would call trauma would be the disease, and the insecurity is the
symptom.
The symptom
works.
That works.
Works for me.
Okay, maybe we should get that on a T-shirt. Insecurity is the symptom of the disease of trauma or something. We can figure it out. We'll figure it out.
But I mean, we just have to get to the point where we are recognizing the different little things, and then not push that over into the next person's life. Some of us have children that we push our relationship traumas over on them, and now we're bringing on the next generational curse, you know? So we have to learn how to break some of this stuff so that we don't cast it over on our children, so that we don't cast the cloud over on our next relationship. You know, recognize the things that trigger you, recognize the things that, you know, set you off, and then heal that stuff. Don't take that over to the next person. It's not their responsibility to make you feel better. You know, Jimmy messed you up. Now you want John to fix it. That is not John's problem.
And that goes the same way with
Sally and Susan.
Not Sally and Susan. We gotta get some ethnic names. Shaquita and Shaquana.
Listen.
Sasha and Alizé.
Not Alizé. Yeah, that ain't work for me. But it works both ways. You know what I'm saying? It works on both sides. We just got to learn that, you know, it is not your relationship partner's deal to fix you. You're supposed to be fixed when you get there.
Right.
You're not supposed to have these dramas and traumas that someone else is fixing for you. That is not okay.
Your feminine energy should be molding with his masculine energy, and y'all should be building together to create something strong.
Some of y'all wear people out. Some of y'all, let me tell you, there are some yes men and yes women in this world, but somebody before they got to that person wore them out. They just like, yep, you can
Whatever.
have that, whatever. Absolutely. That's gonna make you happy? Okay.
Whatever.
Be happy. Because I don't want to deal with what I dealt with before. So yes.
Which is the insecurity which was caused by trauma from a previous relationship.
They just don't have the energy
to fight,
to fight.
to be strong, to they've been so drained that they don't have the energy or the strength to be
who they should be.
Who they are.
Because some of y'all need to be told no. Go sit down somewhere.
Hell no. Hell no to the no.
Not the song. But I'm just saying, some of y'all, like some of us are such kings and queens in our own heads that we are truly jesters.
Ooh, the clown.
But we are, the kingship and the queenship is in our mind so tight that we don't see our own gesture. Like, you are a clown. And somebody told you were a clown. And you didn't accept the clown crown. And instead, you turned it into a tiara or a crown. You tried to stud that clown crown out.
You turned that jester's head into a crown.
You took the point down and you picked the sides up a little bit and added some studs and jewels and was like,
it and put a stick in there and hold it up. Whatever you did, that I'm not a clown. And I think this is a good place to stop because we really have gone off the rails.
I'm just saying.
So I want to thank y'all for joining us again tonight for Passing for Perfect with Corey and Kynisha.
Did we stay on time this time? That's all right.
Pretty much, almost.
That's all right.
We only went over like 7 minutes this time. Y'all, we're growing. But we want to thank y'all. Please subscribe to the YouTube page.
Yes.
Passing for Perfect, Corey and Kynisha. Like, share. We will be back next week, and we will talk next week about marriage roles.
Part 2.
Like, this will be part 2 of this, but whatever.
Hopefully, homework for you all. Home play, as I used to say when I was teaching. Home play. This would be fun for real, especially if you're in a relationship. Get your partner. Get online. Google the 5 love language quiz. Take that quiz apart from one another and come back after you have read all of the love languages and what yours is. And you can identify some moments where you may have went off on the other person because they didn't quite tick at that love language. Then you all come back together after you get a piece of paper, write your love languages down in order, identify something that happened in your relationship that set you off, and you all had an argument maybe over that thing. Because at this point, now you can come back together and be able to sit down and have an open and honest conversation and be like, look, this is my first love language. And remember when you kept asking me what I want to eat? And I was like, you ought to know what I want to eat by now. You know what I'm saying? This is what that's all about. It can open up a good line of communication, don't you think?
Yeah.
And you all can then identify the other person's love language. Understand that just because your love language is yours doesn't mean it's the other person's. You should not be doing what you think would feel good for the other person.
Don't do to the other person what feels good to you.
You're different people.
And that's
But learning your love languages helps understand my partner is a touch person. My partner is an affirmation partner. My partner is an acts person. Maybe I can just go and wash their car and I'm gonna set their life on fire. You know what I'm saying? It's just
I'm not washing it.
Things like that. Yeah, he's not gonna wash my car. No. So things like that, when you learn your love languages and then you act according to the person, not the stuff that you think should make you feel good, make the other person feel good, the stuff that is actually their love language.
Right.
So home play, get the quiz, off away from one another,
have fun,
write some stuff down, figure it out. I promise you're going to be like, you know what? That was, it shouldn't have been that bad, but we just didn't know any better. Now you know.
And next week, also, your definition of what roles are in a marriage. We're gonna talk about marriage. What the roles
Put them
are.
on our page.
Put them on. Put them on the page. What you think the man's role, and what the woman's role should be in a marriage. Put that on the page. Also, everybody who's watching, tell one person about us. Tell one person about the page. Invite one person to the page to
Share
watch the
this
show.
video with one person.
And we will see you guys next week. I think we're gonna start doing 8 o'clock. Give people time to get home from work and a little bit
Tuesday,
more.
Monday.
Monday. We'll be back Monday at 8. We'll be Monday at 8 until football season starts. Then we're gonna tweak it. But see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us. Love you. Love on somebody else.
Y'all
Say
have
good night, Gracie.
a great evening.
Say good night, Gracie.
Good night. I hate that.